Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Crusader Kings III Tours and Tournaments. Alright, so the first thing I want to do in today's episode is we're going to change up our primary dynasty title, or our primary duchy title, I should say. Currently, we moved it to the one that our son had. The problem with that is our capital isn't even over there, and this one here, the Duchy of Toulouse, is the same, coat of arms as our dynasty, since we're the Toulouse Dynasty. So I think it makes sense to go ahead and make this our primary. So we'll go ahead and do that. And really it's just a cosmetic change. In inheritance, of course, it does have an effect, since your primary title is the one that's going to be retained by your heir, which would have been a weird situation because our heir also would have got the capital. So we would end up getting Toulouse, just say we had another son. Then this son here would have inherited Toulouse, the county, but would not have inherited the Duchy of Toulouse. Instead, he would have inherited this duchy without the capital of that duchy. So yeah, it would have been a weird situation, so I wanted to make sure we got that adjusted. And besides, we don't want to be the Toulouse Dynasty and not hold Toulouse. So we're going to go ahead and look for secrets in the capital. Let me see where it's at. It's right here. The capital of Brittany. And we'll talk about why we're going to do that here in a little bit. The first thing I want to discuss is the activities, because remember we got this money that we want to spend on an activity. And I was thinking of doing a grand tournament. Of course, we're currently going to a hunt, so we'd have to finish that up before we could do any of these activities. But then somebody in the comments said that we should take the opportunity now of being a new character to do our first grand tour. At this point, the only activities we haven't done yet in the series are the grand tour and the grand wedding. We've done the rest, though we haven't held a grand tournament yet. We did attend a grand tournament, obviously we won that one. But yeah, we could do the grand tour. He was citing the fact that, he just, came to his titles, and so it makes sense for him to do a tour around his realm. And so I was initially agreeing, but then I thought about the fact that he's actually ruled most of this territory for all of his life, since he was a child. It was only his father's territories, which was just this little part here, that he, just got control of. And, the grand tours, if you do we can't even look at these here, but if you do the taxation one, you can earn a ton of money, and so it basically pays for itself and some. And so if we did that, we could do the grand tour and then also do a grand tournament. However, is that the grand tour that makes the most sense for this character? I feel like he would want to do the majesty one, in which case it would probably be very expensive for us. And so we'd only be able to do one of these. And I think it makes more sense for him to do that after he becomes independent and then becomes the king of Aquitaine, which is the route we're going to go. It seemed like most people agreed that we should go for the independence in the Aquitaine kingdom. Now, in regards to that, there was a misunderstanding. People were thinking that we would just go for the kingdom of Aquitaine and just leave France alone. But I wouldn't be doing that. France has been in the thumbnail and the title since the beginning of episode 1 here, so we definitely want to conquer the kingdom of France. It would just be that we'd form Aquitaine first and then conquer the kingdom of France, and Aquitaine could remain as our primary title, or we could form the Empire of France, which would make sense, and then we'd still be able to maintain the fact that we are France, for just the Empire of France. So we would not, as one person suggests, just leave France alone and then instead go get involved in Iberia. We do need to conquer the north. It's just a matter of, will we be independent and a king when we do that, or would we instead try and just go after the kingdom of France? So that's the plan. We're going to gain our independence and form the kingdom of Aquitaine, and I think it'd make more sense to do the grand tour once we've done that, as we're a new king. So we're going to wait to do that, and also I want to do the grand tournament while we're still somewhat young. We're 36, we do the grand tour and we do the majesty one, so we spend all of our money on that. When are we going to have enough money, especially if we're going to save up to do a war against the king of France? When are we going to have the money to do a grand tournament? It could be a while. The money and the time. It could be a decade from now. And, our other character was fairly old when he did his grand tournament. I think he was in his mid-late 40s or something like that. So I'd like to do it when we're still somewhat young. And so I think we're going to do the grand tournament. And we can do the grand tour a bit later. And we have not actually thrown a grand tournament yet. We've only attended one. So the count here has had a relationship with the mayor. And they also get that sodomite trait, since this was exposed. So everybody knows about it. I think we're waiting for the hunt to start. Yeah, we're waiting on all the guests. Just one more. And then we'll get it started. I think we had to wait several months. And our commanders continue to be improved. Boosting their marshal. Alright, excellent. So that's helpful. And I just accidentally clicked on this character here, but she's pregnant. One interesting thing here is that we already have the soulmate relationship with our spouse, the Countess Elizabeth. Remember, she's involved in this rebellion against the king, which hasn't been progressing yet. It looks like they're all doing sieges at the moment. And we did lose 100 piety here, unfortunately. And we finished constructing the levying grounds. All right, excellent. Just continuing to build up in Toulouse. Yeah, this character must be... Yeah, he was pretty far away. But he has arrived. So we're going to get out there. Remember, we're doing the Slay the Beast intent. So hopefully we're successful there. And somebody got bumped onto the ground. Doesn't seem like a super important event here, but we can say you're acting like a child and will be punished like one. Oh, wow. So this is a Baron. And so we're gonna belt him, spank him on his bottom. And so it's a minor health penalty. Damn. It affects their health. And you really spanked him hard, didn't you? Decreases the success chance. Now remember, our former character would not do something like this because we'd want to be focused on the hunt and getting it done. But this character, who can say? Fickle person might just do something like that. He's arrogant though. So that's going to be influencing our decisions here as well. But yeah, we can say this is no way for a Baron to act. We'll get the mediator. Remember, we're a diplomacy focused character. And so mediating between two people in conflict makes sense for our character as well. And as an arrogant character, you might be holding people up to that same standard you think yourself have attained. Or you say this one that he's gone as red as a beet. Yeah, we're just going to go with this one, guys. So we'll get the mediator, which will improve our diplomacy, which I think gets our diplomacy up to 20 now. I believe we were set at 19 before. Yeah, we're at 20 diplomacy, so not bad. Such a different character from his father, his diplomacy was just absolutely garbage. Alright, so it looks like this method becomes more perilous. Doesn't seem like we're the one that's going to kill the beast in this one. Yeah, I don't think so. In fact, nobody's going to kill the beast. We failed despite the 73.6% chance of success here. Okay, well, we still got some experience. Looks like 3. Okay, so we're moving along. Got back home as well. Remember, we weren't very far away. And it looks like the king was finally defeated. He was taken prisoner when his capital was taken. Okay, so as far as where we're at on that hunter trait, we're sitting at 34. Remember, we need to get to 50 to get the next level. So yeah, the king was defeated and he's going to have his throne taken from him. We can fix the knight situation here. The one interesting thing about this acclaimed knight is that he's a giant. And so I like that. I mean, he's an impressive character, despite his age. Yeah, he's an impressive character. We already have a successor here as well. But yeah, I just don't think that the bonuses you get here are as good. So we were waiting to get the prestige to retire it, so let's go ahead and do so. And then we're going to want to reinstate the Knight of St. Lazarus. Though I don't know if this is the character... Well, he's pretty garbage. So we could go ahead and retire him. We need to seek a worthy accolade successor first, though. So let's go and do so, because you see that there was no options here for successors. So let's go ahead and see if we can't find somebody who'd be worthy of this position. And with the giant having lost his knightly title, maybe we can recompensate him by making him our bodyguard. I always like having a giant as a bodyguard. He's not our best character for this. Robert de Toulouse would. What? There's another Toulouse? He's the last living member of this false dynasty. What can we do with this guy? I feel like he can't be claiming this name. Can't dismiss him and just have him take off somewhere else. What could we do with him? Could just straight up imprison him. It's an act of tyranny, but I don't know, man. Again, as an arrogant character, I don't know that we'd tolerate it. I don't care how good of a knight he is. I don't know if we'd tolerate a character just running around claiming to be a Toulouse even though he's not. Though we would have a very low chance of success here. So, I'm not sure how to deal with that guy just yet, but he needs to be dealt with. I didn't know there was another Toulouse. We should have looked at the dynasty. So, let's go ahead and put the giant in charge of our bodyguard. And so he'll pop up for certain events. It is kind of taken away from our money, obviously. But I think it's a good investment. Even though, we ourselves are very good with prowess. We don't technically need a bodyguard. Alright, so we're still looking for that. Let me see if there's anything else in here. I don't see anything that we need to be aware of. So maybe save up to 425. I don't recall the prices again for... But the thing is, this war is going, and it looks like it just finished up. Is there another conflict, like immediately after or something? That's what it seems like. Maybe not. This is a rebellion against somebody else. Maybe a rebellion against the Duke of Champagne. Yeah, we have a new king now. Guilhem the Lion, the former king's brother. So Prince Philip has been demoted to a mere count. So he has one county title and two baronies. That means he does not hold the capital of Paris. His brother still does. So yeah, he holds the capital, but not the kingly title. And so I feel like we have no allegiance to this Capet, because he's he seized the throne. I mean, technically somebody seized it for him, but yeah, I feel like we don't have any allegiance to him now. One of our knights became an aspiring blade master, so he's much better now. Now he's up to the 20 prowess. We got a fantastic group of knights. But yeah, he released his brother right away and let him, go back to his titles. Didn't have to do it that way. We can now pay homage to the new king, but we will not be doing that. Oh, we gain stress from doing that. I wonder if that's because of our arrogant trait. And so you don't even want to go do that. One more reason why we would want to become independent. And our wife is pregnant again. All right, interesting. So we can end up having another son, in which case the inheritance is split, and that's one more reason why we would want to become a king. Because remember, we're at the, our current succession law. We're at that technology level where they will create titles to be given to your other sons. And so basically, even though we only hold, we already hold 2 duchy titles, or excuse me, we hold way more than that. We hold 4 duchy titles. So our son was creating those duchy titles, or he inherited those from his mother. And so, basically, 2 of these would be given out to any other son that we had, and he would be independent, since a duke can't be the vassal of another duke. Alright, so a night to forget. Apparently we're at a party, and it's boring. So the host of this is our court tutor and physician. And so we have the option that we can go talk to Duke Arnulf of Flanders, or we could just insult the host. So yeah, you could get to know him better, and that would make sense with our gregarious trait. Instead we say, I guess I'll just make the best of things, which would actually result in us gaining stress. Our character would not want to do this. Could go insult him. Sounds like something an arrogant character might do. Either of these would work, but this one might fit well for my plans here. And we became friends with them. Alright, excellent. So yeah, we're now friends with the Duke of Flanders. Okay. Now we did find an accolade successor. I should have just clicked on him to look at him. But let's go ahead and get him appointed here. He's not the greatest prowess. He's 28 years old. Yeah, he's young enough to become better. So let's appoint him as the successor here. And then might want to retire this guy. He's pretty good stat-wise, but yeah, he's getting older now. It's about time for him to retire. It'd be preferable to retire him if we had like something else to give him. I thought we could remove him and place this guy instead. Yeah, I'm not seeing that option anywhere, so maybe I'm mistaken. You can, of course, retire the accolade, but that's not what we want to do. Okay, that's fine. We can just leave him there for now. I'll just hold on to that title. But yeah, he's not a great knight. We could spar against one of our knights in preparation for our upcoming tournaments. There's another hunt invitation, though, in our realm, so we should probably attend that. All right, so we'll do that first. It's not that far away either. Hopefully we don't have to wait a long time for everybody to arrive. And while traveling, we got the Wolf Struggle event again. And so now we can kind of pick a different option that we're going to go with probably every time this fires, just based on our traits. You know, with our brave character before, we always did this one here. This man deserves my help. Let me just take a look at him. I think this character clearly doesn't deserve our help. He's known as the Craven. Yeah, I don't see us wanting to help him here. Could have our bodyguard help him instead. But I don't even think we'd do that. I think we'd just go with, I won't risk my life for this. That's an arrogant character. We think quite highly of ourselves. And we have no respect for that Craven. Alright, so we're going to be waiting. And we have it set to recreation, so we need to change this. We're going to try and slay the beast here. Could attempt to befriend somebody. You need to see who's coming. Because I'd like to befriend the Dukes of the realm, which there's no other Dukes coming to this. And we've been invited to become the Chancellor of the new council. That makes perfect sense, and that's the position we wanted. So the bonuses of this is we're going to get increased prestige, so we already earn a lot of prestige, but we'll also get fellow vassal opinion, so that's helpful. And most importantly, we get that lifestyle experience bonus. Alright, excellent. So yeah, we wanted to get that Chancellor position so we get through our perk tree a little bit quicker. Alright, so again, this is all the same events you've seen. We're going to be hunting a bison today. So let's hope the hunt is successful. So Bona has come of age. Alright, excellent. And she has become an intricate web weaver. Alright, so she did fairly decent. And I keep forgetting that there's something I need to do here, but we can't do it while we're in an activity, so we need to finish this up. We do need to arrange a marriage for her, and that's one of the things I want to do here, is some marriages. So I only have a 52.5% chance of being successful on this hunt. So probably going to fail. Oh, no. Are we the ones that slayed the beast? Alright, so Julian takes a horrendous butt before he put the bellowing beast out of its misery. So did he get injury? He got killed. He was charged by bison and killed. What a tragedy. Alright, so we were successful on the hunt. And looks like, were we working on this before? Okay, so this was happening when we took over as our character. So our son was trying to get control of this county here. And so this is this count of the Anjou dynasty on our borders here. He only holds the one county. It would make sense that we'd want to take this title. I think our son was right in his attempts here. We would want this title under our control. So I mean, I don't really want to spend the money on that, but clearly that's what we should do. Alright, so we have finished up the hunt. We didn't have any stress, but if we had, we would have lost most of it due to our successful hunt. And we got the famed bison horn. So it's a little bit better than the bison horn we have. But still probably not good enough that we'll put it in our trinket slot. Most importantly, I think we just got... Oh, we're just short. We just need one more experience to get to the next level. Okay. All right, so let's finish the hunt and then head back home. And once we get back home, we got a few things we need to take care of here. All right, so what I want to do is go ahead and arrange marriages for our children. And I think it makes sense to arrange a marriage here in Brittany. You know, we're already friends with the Duchess. So she's friends with us, either rivals. But yeah, I think it makes sense to arrange a marriage for their children. They have a bunch of kids. Now, the eldest here is already betrothed, but he's a bastard. So he's not going to inherit anything. And unfortunately, I was going to arrange a marriage for her, but they already betrothed her off. Okay, so that's a bummer. Because what I was going to do is arrange a marriage for, for the grand marriage between her and our eldest son. And so that's what my plan was. And you can't do that, arrange, I don't know why, but you cannot arrange a grand wedding if you're at an activity or are traveling. It just won't let you. So I'm not entirely sure why that is, because it's not like you're going to have a grand wedding immediately. In fact, even if they are of age, which in this case they would not have been, she's not of age and neither is our eldest son. So you can't even have the grand wedding. But even if they are both adults, I think you get 2 years to actually do the grand wedding. So I don't know why it requires you to not be, traveling or already on activity just to arrange the grand wedding. Kind of strange. But yeah, wouldn't allow that. So we had to wait. And because of that, we missed the opportunity to do the marriage here. Now, they do have another daughter. She's a bleeder, though. So I don't know that we want that going into our dynasty. That negative health trait. But then they also have their son, and he's the one who's actually set to inherit the title here. So we could arrange a marriage for him and our daughter. So remember, we have 3 daughters here, none of which have a spouse. One is the oldest, Elizabeth. I think we have her. Yeah, she's going the intrigue one, and she's the one that we're currently training. And then our youngest, Rosa. Maybe she'll go to the church. Maybe we'll arrange a marriage for her. We'll have to see. But I think it makes the most sense to do Elizabeth, considering the fact that she's closer to the age here. Because, Bona's 16, while their son is just a mere 8. So we're going to arrange a marriage for the son. I think this makes sense that we'd want to arrange a marriage for our neighbor, especially when we're friends with his mother. Looking towards our future here. So we'll have an alliance with Brittany. So yeah, we'll go ahead and arrange this marriage. They would not accept a matrilineal marriage. This is why I set my spy there. You never know. Maybe they're successful. We're able to try and force a matrilineal marriage. But clearly that won't be the case here. And yeah, they'll be of his dynasty, and that's okay. All right, so let's go and send that betrothal proposal off. That's funny. He's known as the Lecher. All right, so we got a marriage with Brittany. And so it makes sense for us to do a marriage with some duchies or some dukes that are within our own realm here. So we're already friends with Arnulf. So maybe we arrange a marriage for one of his daughters for our son. How old is our son? He's 8, so that's the exact same age as his daughter here. Unfortunately, we can't see any of her traits, though. But you wait too long, as we saw here in Brittany, and then they arrange the betrothal with somebody else. Other potential options. So he just has sons in Champagne. He's got 3 sons. The eldest already being betrothed. And then there's Burgundy. And those are pretty much all the dukes in the realm, because we hold the majority of the French duchy titles. So he has a daughter and son as well. Daughter's also 8 years old. Okay, that's interesting. So what we could do, we only have the one son as of right now, but if we have another son, we could do one marriage up here and one marriage over here. As far as who's the more powerful, he's a neighbor. He does have more troops currently. So we can't see much about their stats just yet. It's kind of determined based on that. One of the things that was nice about the Brittany girl here, and she had the really nice stewardship. And overall, her stats just aren't too bad at all. That's pretty good for a 13-year-old. Doesn't have her education trait yet. Also, she's lustful, so you don't got to worry about having children, though. You know, you do have to worry about her, cheating on you, I suppose. But yeah, we don't know anything about these characters. They're so young. So unfortunately, we just have to go based on the political situation. And while Flanders is our friend, and thus we'll probably want to get a marriage alliance there at some point, there's a lot of other options here. These are not the only children they have. We also have potentially another son coming. And it just makes more sense with Burgundy, because Burgundy is so close to us. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to marry into the Flair dynasty here. I mean, that's not their name, obviously, but yeah. His nickname is the Flair. So probably better be on his good side than his bad side, right? So let's go and arrange a marriage here for her and her son. Now, of course, as I said before, while, if you're doing a non-roleplay series, and the main thing you're going to marry for is positive traits and work those into your dynasty, when we do this roleplay series, traits are just less important because it makes more sense for us to focus on alliances and such. So we can do a grand wedding. It makes sense. 2 powerful dukes here would do a grand wedding, so we will. Now, of course, we can't have that until they're adults, and it looks like it's 3 years to fulfill the promise. I was thinking it was 2. Maybe it is 2 when they're adults, or maybe I was just mistaken and it's 3. Now, these children are related to some degree, so there's a chance that they're going to be, their children will be inbred. I'm not entirely sure how related they are. They seem pretty distant, and it's not like that's a huge concern among European marriage alliances anyways. So yeah, we're going to do the grand wedding here. So we're promising that, which means we're promising to pay for it. We don't have to. He'll accept it either way. But I feel like with our eldest son, that makes sense that we would do that. And we have a long time to get the money for it. We just have to keep that in mind, that we need to pay for that. So let's send the proposal off. So he'll accept that. And then we'll have 2 of our children married off. And all this is getting us alliances, which would be helpful when we do our play for independence. And also, just finding secrets would be helpful as well. So not surprising at all that the Letcher here has a secret lover. So it's a bummer we found that right after we sent the marriage offer over there. Yeah, we can't blackmail him. I don't know what we'd use that for now that we've already done this marriage, though. Yeah, there's really no reason to. Yeah, this has already been agreed to. Alright, so small stables has been constructed as well. Alright, excellent. So that gives us those bonuses. So getting those buildings constructed. We had another daughter. Okay. Do we have a daughter named after our mother, Ennis? No, we do not. So that makes sense. Let's name her after our mother. We had a complicated relationship with our mother. But somebody was, making the argument that when we had our mother as our regent for so long, that the reason for that is because we were just kind of enjoying ourselves, enjoying our youth, partying, and letting our mother rule for us instead, which there's a lot of historical examples of rulers doing exactly that, particularly in their 20s. So one of the secrets was exposed here. Okay. And another one was exposed as well. So lots of secrets out there being made known. No other secrets out there. Let's actually go ahead and move her. We got a secret on the Duke. So let's go ahead and find, let's see, who we'd want to work on next. Maybe Champagne. And then let's take a look exactly how much money we need for our tournament. Now, given you could spend a variety of different amounts of money, just depending on how grand you want that tournament to be. So let's take a look, see how much we're looking to spend. So I'll know when we have it. So is this... Yeah, this is a trait for our daughter Elizabeth. So she can become content or cynical. Sure, she'd be content. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this grand tournament. and figure out, first of all, I guess, where we want to throw it. Now, it makes sense to throw it in the capital because then you get the positive modifier. And then also you can see we have some discounts there because of the buildings we have. So another reason to throw it there. But one issue is that it is kind of far away from everybody else. So it means less people could attend, but maybe that's a good thing because it means it's easier to win it. So let's put it in Toulouse, just for all those good modifiers we have. And then this is where it gets expensive. How many contests do you want? Some contests are cheaper than other ones. And so I feel like we gotta have a standard, like a standard either melee, joust, or duel. So let's take a look at the cost of these, because the cost can differ. So 125 for the melee. The joust is 250, so pretty expensive. And the duel would be 113. So the duel is clearly the cheapest one. So I can see us wanting to do that one. Yeah, I can see us doing that one. And the cost isn't that different between these two, but let's just say you do the duel. And so then we're going to want to do another one. Let's go do a wrestling match. Archery? Archery makes sense for us because we're a hunter. So that gets up to 238. And then if you want to throw one more, I mean, yeah, this is going to get too expensive because we haven't even paid for the rest of the stuff yet. So probably only going to be able to do 2, honestly. I don't think we would expend... yeah, we won't be able to afford 3. Board games, 363 here. Or, you know, the total would be 363. A horse race would get it up to 426. It's pretty expensive. We don't have stables here. All right. So I think just 2 is all we'll be able to afford. So let's go ahead and cancel that and then continue. And then take a look at other cost. So with this one here, the accommodations, you should pretty much always do the middle one, guys. If you do this one here, the ramshackle tents, it says certain negative events are more likely to fire. From my experience, they always fire when I do this. Every single time I've done this, you get the negative event. And so it's probably just better to pay the full price so you don't get that negative event. And then we have the prizes, which if we're trying to win these, then that affects how good the prize will be for us. And so it's looking like 188 is the cost here. So 539 is how much we'd have to pay. So I was trying to get to 425 and that would not have been enough. Okay. I see. Could just throw one event. That's just not very exciting though, is it? You try putting something else in here because the archery went up to 238. What if you did something else? Yeah, board games 238 as well. What's the wrestling? You think that'd be cheap? Nope. Okay, so you could do the recital, I suppose. I don't know if our character would be interested in doing that. We probably wouldn't want to participate. Yeah, I don't see us participating in that. I don't know though, because you reciting a poem might be something that a really diplomatic character would want to do. So I suppose we could do the recital. Just try and win it. It'd be a lot cheaper. And we still have the manly duel going, the martial duel. And so we have mid-ground on both of these, would be 477. So we still can't afford it with both events. Okay, so clearly we need to save up more money to be able to do this then. All right, so let's go ahead and just cancel doing this for now. And we'll have to save up a bit more. Because clearly we do not have enough money. We could go ahead and do the war, though that actually typically costs money. Though it's such a small war that maybe we could just raise up the men-at-arms not to pay as much. We need to get a perk, so let's go ahead and finish up with the August branch, getting that trait. And we'll take a look at that trait and how it's boosting us here. So we get the 2+ diplomacy, putting us at 22. We get 1+ martial, putting us at 19 now. So our martial actually declines. Modifier we had must have dropped off. And then more prestige per month. So again, we're just a very prestigious character here. So let's just see if he's got any allies. He does, But it still looks like it's going to be a rather small conflict overall. He does have 829. Let's just take a look at the exact numbers that we'd be looking at here, because we also have our allies to assist us. You know, we have 2 dukes as ally, and plus we have our spouse. So yeah, I mean, we would have vastly more troops than they do. So we could probably just recruit the men-at-arms. I mean, you'd probably need some levies, actually. Yeah, you need some levies, and having some levies is nice too, because they are basically like the shields for your men-at-arms. They take the casualties, so you don't lose as many men-at-arms in battle. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and do this and just not raise up the entire... Oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize that Crown Authority was that high. Apparently it is. We need to get a hook on the king. Okay then, so we're not doing any wars. We need to get a hook on him. Yeah, we had a kinsman die. Rose's educator. Okay, so we'll have to perhaps give this new bishop. Well, let's just take a look at him real quick. He's got, I think, better learning than the last one. I believe the last one had horrible learning. I mean, he's an evil blackguard, though, so I don't know if that's somebody you want to give your daughter to. But yeah, let's go ahead and do so. And so that'll improve his opinion by a bit, which we should be making use of our personal scheme. We haven't been doing that enough. Or we were in the first few episodes, but yeah, I haven't been doing it since. So let's go ahead and sway him. And I'm sure we got vassals that can be swayed as well. And we'll be far more successful at that with our high diplomacy. One thing I did want to show is that our brother is a bishop. He's a bishop for that new count that we made over here when we gave that title out. So yeah, he's a bishop for him. So our brother finally has a position in the church after serving since he came of age. I'm going to speed this up. Hopefully don't miss any activities. There's one right here. It looks like we can still go to it. It's a hunt. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we'll go and attend this. So it says we can't arrive, so we'd actually have to pay the mercenary guards to be able to arrive in time. Yeah, sure. Why not? I know we're trying to save up money, but we're also very close to getting that hunter trait, the next level of it. So let's go ahead and start up again. And our daughter is actually going to be serving as our regent now. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So hopefully she does a good job. And we do have her set to the Vilcoffership. Just wanted to confirm that. Alright, so we have arrived. Want to see what we're hunting. And we need to change up our intent here. We cannot do that one. Oh, because this is another falcon hunt. Okay. We'll see if there's anybody we can befriend. The king can also befriend the duke. We did just set up a marriage alliance with him. It doesn't make sense to befriend the king since we're going to rebel against him. So let's befriend the lecher. We could also try and murder somebody. Let me just take a look. You try and murder the king. Who takes over? I assume he has children. Yeah, he has a son and heir here. But yeah, just looking at the succession here. So it could fall back in the hands of Prince Philip if both of those children died, so he's not he's not an intrigue guy. But if the royal children start to drop, then we have an idea of who it might be. But yeah, let's go ahead and befriend the Duke. Even though I know he's an older guy at 50, but he'll be around for a little while. Of course, we know his secrets as well. Oh no. What happened here? Oh, we never arranged a marriage for her. It was our bodyguard, Boral. Really? Wow. How could he put my daughter in that position? What would we do about this? Alright, well, let's first go through this event here. That's one of the problems when you don't find a marriage for your eldest child here. Yeah, because we got a marriage for her. Not her yet, so we still need to find... A Rosa might go to the church, though. I like when you have a bunch of children, giving at least one of them to the church. It makes sense and it's historically accurate. And so given that we have her doing the learning education, it makes sense for her to become a nun. You know, it was as a nun that women could achieve a significant amount of authority and power, like as an abbess. You know, they rise up in the ranks. And they could become very influential in the European world in the Middle Ages. And so, yeah, I think it makes sense for us to have our daughter go to the church if she wants to, if she's willing to. All right, so we have an event here, and I'm not entirely sure if he's seen this one before. We're going to read it. So Count Geoffrey of Touraine has been admiring my bird since we first parted for a hunt, and I can hardly blame him. Such a magnificent and beautiful beast it is. We near a small river, rich and busy with fish of generous size, and I feel this is the perfect opportunity to show what my hawk can do. Do we happen to actually have one? We do not. Just gives you bonuses when you do these hunting events. So you say, my falconry skills will impress. So we'll increase our hunter trait experience, lose 47 stress, which we don't have. And this is a learning stewardship challenge, meaning that we're very unlikely to be successful here. I will say I'll grab a fish myself, and this is a prowess challenge. 53% chance that we'll be successful. And we'll lose stress because we're arrogant. Yeah, why would we let our success rely on this bird when we're so impressive? We'll grab the fish ourselves. And we grab the fish with our bare hands. Look at that skill. We get a bunch of prestige and improved our hunter trait. Very low chances of success here, by the way. So this is an event for our son and heir. And this is his traits. And it's the craven trait that he currently has. We can instead make him lazy or arbitrary. Wow. So this is going to be his first trait, and it is going to be a negative one. Now remember, we're trying to make him into a military guy, and we can't change that either because we've already changed it once. And being a craven soldier, yeah, we wouldn't want that. We'd probably be willing to take the stress to try and force him to be better. All of these are going to hit you as a negative. So what would we go with? Why not hide in your room instead? Or bully deserves whatever punishment you can imagine. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to make him into a warrior, maybe you'd say this one. But all these are bad. Arbitrary at least has some bonuses. His intrigue will go up. Have higher natural dread. So yeah, we'll go with that one. And so we'll have an arbitrary character. Does his own thing and has little regard for others. So he's already getting interesting for our next character. Alright, so Count Bosun's game master signaled the party to hush. We have arrived at the release spot. There's a clear sight line to a bevy of white swans watering themselves in a pond up ahead. The beaters will soon be in position, ready to spook the game to flight. The party halts as we prepare to remove our birds' hoods and set them one by one to their sport. So 2 in the bush. And yeah, I think we've seen this one here, and we were unsuccessful, not surprising given the success chance. But we did still gain 10 experience points. But we did fail to bond with the Duke. We just never got a chance to. We did lose some stress though. And just too much stuff popping up here at once. Yeah, look at all this crap that's popping up here. Oh, interesting. Prince Philip has had an affair with the Countess here. She's currently in prison, but she is under us. And so she was having an affair with the former king. Very interesting. She's been imprisoned. Yeah, we lost a lot of stress here. We still have stress. Feels like we didn't lose the stress then. You know what? She was our spy master. Okay. I thought she looked familiar, but I couldn't figure out where. So I was just thinking we just didn't interact with her. She's the spy master. So she was training one of our children. And now we need to appoint a new spy master. Okay. Let's take care of this travel event first. This is the trodden path. And Yeah, we've seen this one before. And we would just take over as the guide, expecting that we would do fantastic at this because we're great at everything. Of course we are. Alright, so she finished the attempt to find secrets right before. Well, that's interesting. She found a secret right before her secret was exposed. Alright, so looks like the Duchess here, the wife of Duke Robert of Champagne, she has a secret. She attempted to murder somebody. Okay, so yeah, if we wanted to operate against the Duke, we do have that secret there. And one of our knights to become a blade master. Alright, excellent. So our marshal's doing a fantastic job here, improving the rest of our knights. Of course, our vassal was imprisoned by the king, so he would imprison his brother's lover, that figure. Alright, and then we have a liberty faction that has been created against the king. Okay, so I imagine him just seizing control of our spy master like that would be quite frustrating. Without our permission, I mean, that was we would have dealt with that. That's our right to deal with that. And so this might be the kind of trigger point here, the spark that sets off our rebellion. So we'll take a look at that in a minute, but we need to assign somebody else over here. Who to assign, though, because she'll likely be let go soon, and we could just put her back in that position. And we do have a powerful vassal here that doesn't have a position, but he sucks, and that's the reason why he doesn't have a position. He's not very good at anything. Or he's just average. He's an average guy. You do have somebody here who's pretty good. I think he's even better than that countess. I suppose you could just assign him instead. He's ill, and he's a lunatic, sadistic, ambitious. Probably not the best person to assign. Is he at least terrified of us? Nope. He's a glory hound. Probably not the best person to assign as your spy master. There's another count here, not quite as impressive, with that same ambitious and sadistic trait. Okay. So I almost just want to leave this open for now, just to see if she's released. And maybe he'll let her go quickly. So we still never dealt with our eldest daughter. So she still needs to be dealt with here, because she's pregnant. I almost want to just force her to marry him, like before she has the child, and then we can just kind of pass it off. I mean, she'll get married and 4 months later she'll have a baby. So everybody will know what's going on here. But yeah, we would prefer that she marry, you know, a noble out there, but she's done sullied herself. Who wants, you know, somebody who's already has another child at this time in history? That would cause issues when trying to find a marriage for her. And so we could just punish our bodyguard and acclaimed knight, former acclaimed knight. That would be an option. Either you gotta punish him or you gotta force him to marry her. That's kind of the choices, I feel. And I mean, we're just gonna go with, they were kind of softy on this front. You know, we're not the most like cruel, roughest guy. And you know, our daughter, she pleads with us. She loves him, she says. And so we're gonna go ahead and do the marriage instead. Maybe we'll get a bunch of giants in our dynasty, I don't know. But yeah, obviously this is not the most desirable outcome here, guys. But I should have married her as soon as she came of age. I should have married her off. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and arrange the marriage, and probably make this be a matrilineal marriage as well. So they'll be of our dynasty, and this is also another good reason to do it before the child's born. This shouldn't be considered a bastard, maybe. I'm not entirely sure if you get them married before the child's born, if that'll be a bastard or not. Because technically bastard is conceived outside of wedlock. But yeah, you can conveniently, in real life, you can conveniently marry before the child's born, and then it wouldn't be a bastard. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that marriage arranged. Obviously not the most desirable outcome. He's a 57-year-old man. Yeah, we'd be quite frustrated with that, not happy with him, but is what it is, guys. Our daughter loves him, and we got a soft spot for our daughter Bona. But yeah, we do need to still find a marriage for our youngest daughter, but she's pretty young, so we got plenty of time. And my daughter also was unsuccessful in furthering our mandate here, so she caused some strife. Okay, so we've arrived back from the hunt. And so Bona got that prestige. And so still got to appoint a spy master. Let me just see if she has returned. If she's been let out yet. Yeah, I want to keep her in place. I think that makes the most sense. Because, yeah, the alternatives aren't great. Yeah, these guys are too risky, I feel, to put them in the position. And the next level is here, and he's not at counter or anything like that. So, yeah, I feel like they're just too risky. I also don't like not having any spy master. So unless you're going to appoint somebody that you can just fire, like the caravan master, I suppose you could do that. And then just fire him. Sure, we'll do that. He's a nobody. So he should still be finding secrets in the Duke Robert's courts. Let's actually move him to Paris, though. Try and find secrets on the king. And so we were able to sway him. Excellent. So we're getting that full money and levies from him. Do we want to sway anybody else? Pretty good relations with everybody here. Let's take a look at our other vassals. So this guy, we're not putting him in place. So you could sway him. He likes us. But yeah, he could like us more. So yeah, let's work on swaying him instead. 95% chance of success. So now we might want to go ahead and create a faction here, guys. You can see a lot of our vassals can't even form factions against us. There is already a faction here. It's just that one count. But I think we'd want to create the independence faction. So we're going to do that. And you can see that already we can press our demands if we so desire. But we want to create this before somebody else does. In which case then we'd have to join that one. And then they can press the demands whenever they want. We have control of it now. So we need to get more members in here. Now, we could probably beat the king as is. Maybe not. Because we can only bring Brittany into this. We wouldn't be able to bring in, you know, any of our other allies against their liege. So we need to get more members in here, and that's the reason why we're looking for secrets. We're going to try and force them in. Now, for him, it just makes sense that he would join our faction. But being a friend is not enough. You have to have a strong hook on him. So he has to have a reason to want to rebel. And they did have a daughter. Okay. So it's Juliana. Yeah, we can keep that name. That's fine. And she's not a bastard, so she is a part of our dynasty. So it does work doing the marriage before the baby's born. And so our daughter married for love. All right, so as we're trying to improve relations with him, we get to pick how we want to do this. So he's not really good when it comes to his attributes in any way. He is brave, forgiving, and gregarious. So maybe diplomatic matters. Well, actually learning is pretty high. I didn't realize that. So maybe he likes a good book. Yeah, we'll go with that one. And yeah, it seems like he was encouraged by it. Now I just have to keep pretending that I know anything about scholarship because our learning is terrible. But we did get the opinion increase there. Also, whoop, looks like we missed it. There was a hunt, but we missed it. Okay, that's fine. All right, guys, so unfortunately, we do have to end today's episode here. We didn't make a ton of progress down here, unfortunately. Got a lot of stuff happening, but we did start up our faction, and so now we just got to get some more members in this faction. As right now, nobody else is in it. We can kind of dip around and see if there's anybody we have a secret or hooks on and we can force into this faction. Yeah, here, unfortunately, we got it on his wife rather than him, and she does not have any titles. And it's such a bummer that, you know, being friends isn't enough. Because, yeah, like, he's our friend. Burgundy, you know, we've got that marriage with him. And so yeah, it would make sense. You know, basically, he'll become the father of a queen if we do this. And so it makes sense for him to support us. But yeah, none of that is considered. The only thing that really matters is if you have the strong hook. So we can just keep on looking for secrets to try and get more people into this faction. But of course, maybe somebody joins just because they get frustrated with the new king. That's a possibility as well. So we'll have to see what happens there, guys. But I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one, where hopefully we'll be able to do this grand tournament. We gotta hope that we got the money for it. And yeah, we'll just keep on working on trying to get people to join our rebellion. We'd probably be able to win it now. Probably. And he has about the same number of troops we do, and then we also will have the assistance of Brittany. And they have a similar number of troops. So we could probably win it now. But the thing is I want to break France up. I want France to be more broken up than it would be with us leaving. Because then that means we can either conquer that territory or ally with them against France, just to make the Kingdom of France weaker. And of course, there's also our wife here. And we would not inherit that territory with the current crown authority, because we'd be outside the realm. So that's another thing to consider. So we probably want, I don't know, something to happen with her first, or her to join the rebellion. So a lot of things we need to wait on. We're not going to rush this, guys. We got plenty of time. We're a young man. Plenty of time to do this. We'll grow the faction and work on other things in the meantime. So I do hope to see you guys on that next episode, and thanks for watching.